Assalamu alaikum. This is teacher Manal Abdelhadi with you from Amariya School. How are you, grade 7? I missed you a lot. Now I'm so excited to give you this lesson. We are in the second lesson in the unit, magnetic poles. Our outcomes describing the properties of magnets. Second, determining which pole points to the north of the earth. Third, using a permanent magnet to magnetize iron. We're gonna make our own compass, so come on. This is so interesting. We will use critical thinking strategy. Let's start. This is the way we are going to cover our lesson. First, we will revise the most important points in the previous one. We will talk about magnetic force, two magnets, magnet rules, making a magnet, and the assessment at the end. Now, the most important points in the previous lesson was the following. Magnetic and non-magnetic, we can classify the materials into these two. So, all the magnetic materials should be made of iron, cobalt, or nickel, or steel, but non-magnetic materials is the rest. And we were talking about neodymium is the strongest magnets are made of this metal. And like we have some toys made of magnet. Magnetic force. This is a new expression now. What do we mean by magnetic force? It is the force of a magnet on a piece of magnetic material or on other magnet. So it's the force exerting from the magnet itself on other objects like this one here. The screwdriver is attracted by the magnet, so there is a force between them. And we can't see this force. We can't see the effect of it. And sometimes its effect on other magnets. Let's see how. You can make your own game. Let's say we can cut a small piece of paper, draw a player on it, hold it on a wooden piece and put a small magnet like this. And then you can put it on a playing ground that is your table. Use a ruler with a small magnet fixed to it below the table so you can move all the players using the magnet. Because we have a magnet with the player and a magnet below the table. Critical thinking question. Which of the following is a magnet if A and B attract to each other, B and C do not attract, C and A attract? You have 10 seconds to answer, so think quickly. 3, 2, 1. What's the answer? Now answer is A. Because A and B attract, A and C attract, but B and C are not attracting to each other. Magnet fact. So one end of a bar magnet is a north pole and the opposite end is south pole. So we have all the time two directions or two poles for the magnet, even if it was different than a bar shape. So this is the north. It's pointing to Russia, and south pointing to, for example, Australia. Labeling magnetic poles. Put a small piece of a tape on one end of a bar magnet, as this one. We have a bar magnet. We have to hide the poles or the symbols written on it, so we have to use this tape. And if you know the north and south direction in this room, you can do this experiment. So tie a string around the middle of your magnet. Now dangle the magnet. Dangle the magnet means hold it freely using this string and the ruler. Watch as one end orients itself, means it will rotate towards the north. This is the magnet's north pole. Okay, so if you know that the north side in your room is this direction, you can know directly when it stop orienting or stop rotating around that this is the north pole of the magnet. The other one is the south pole if you know that this is the south direction. Again, a critical thinking question for the smart student. If you cut a bar of magnet in half, okay, will you then end up with an isolated north pole and an isolated south pole? The answer is no, we can't. We can't have an isolated north pole or isolated south pole in one of the pieces of a magnet. Each time you cut the magnet into two parts, it will give you two poles. If we have two magnets like this example, so the magnetic force affecting on them, We have like poles here. It means like the same type of pole, north and north, or south and south. These poles will repel. It means like they will push each other away. So these like poles repel. And in this example, we have opposite poles attract. So north and south, or south and north, these are opposite poles, not the same type of poles. They will attract. It means they will pull each other. Magnetic rules. So that's the first rule. Unlike poles attract. Unlike means they are opposite poles, like south and north. And the second rule, like poles repel. Like poles means the same pole. So north, north, or south and south, they will repel. Means they will push each other away. We want to solve this question. Course book page 164, question 1. Are the magnets attracting or repelling each other? Open your book, please. You will see this figure. North, south, 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 and north. You have to write the answers on your book. So the first one, attract. Second, repel. Third, repel. Please write it on your course book. North and south are unlike poles, so they will attract. South and south are like poles, means same poles. North and north are like poles. So the rule, as you can remember from the previous slide, unlike poles attract, like poles repel. Machines. We use magnets in machines also, like these machines. If we suppose that the red part is the north part and the blue part is south, so south and north will attract. North and north will repel from this side. So because of that, it will rotate. This wheel will rotate. And here we have a shield like to hold this magnet inside. And we have these series of magnets. The blue part will be attracted to the red one. So south and north will attract. What about this red part? North and north will repel. Because of that, it will keep rotating. It's like a clock. You can say that. Okay, so we use these in fans also and in some machines and motors. Permanent magnet. Magnetize a piece of iron or steel. This is very important because they use it in our real life. So let's see the steps here. Lay the piece of iron or steel on a bench. Using one pole of a magnet, stroke or rub it gently from one end to the other, like this way here. We are rubbing using a magnet. This is a permanent magnet. It means that it will stay for a long time as a magnet. It will keep its properties and everything. And this is like an iron or steel needle. So we are going to make it magnet. We call that magnetize. Magnetize the iron or steel. So we have like to stroke it several times or rub it several times using the same pole. Make sure you always stroke it in one direction. If you did it in both directions, you will lose the magnetizing. So you have to rub in only one direction, like here from left to right direction. If we started rubbing in the left direction with the north pole, so the result here will be a north pole, because this needle iron is going to be a magnet. So this is the north pole for the needle, and this is the south pole. Why this is the north pole? Because we start rubbing the north pole in this side. We start rubbing the north pole in this side, so this will be the north part. Magnet fact again. So a compass has a 10 bar magnet in it, and it works in the same way, so that explorers can find their way. That in this way they made the compass. So they rub the needle and they make a compass. Making a compass, it's so easy. Can I make it at home, teacher? Yes, you can. If you have a magnet, please do it and record it. Send it. I will count it as an activity. So what you will do here, first we are going to magnetize this needle. We have to start rubbing on this side and go to the other side, then get back again. Rub in one direction only. So rub in one direction from this side to that side. So what we will get here, this is the North Pole in that way. because we rub it with the North Pole, and we start rubbing here to that side. So when we start rubbing in this side, it will be the north. And put it on the surface of the water as this, and you will find the pen or this side of the needle pointing to the north already. A critical thinking question, because you are so smart, students. So how can you do this magic using magnets? How can I put these pieces away from each others? So, of course, this is not gravity of Earth, no. Not gravity of an iron metal, no. Actually, these are magnetic parts. The lower part is north, for example, and this higher part, okay, of the green magnet is also north. So north and north will be repelled. Now here south and south, okay, north and south, north and north, and south and north. Even the base is a magnet. So here we have to like order like poles above each other. In this way they will repel and they will be like this. I have now a question for the assessment. Any magnet has two ends, each one called a magnetic field, a magnetic pole, a magnetized material, or none of the above. The answer is magnetic pole. That's good. So north and south are called magnetic. Correct. Please highlight this lesson with us. Magnetic poles, page 164. This is the magnetic force here which pulls a piece of steel when a magnet attracts it, and the magnetic poles are north and south, and we can know the north when we hold it freely. It will point to the north direction. Now two magnets together will attract or repel. So south and north, please write here attract. That's the word attract, the double T. And S and S, south and south, will repel. So you have to write the word repel. North and north repel also. Now these are the most important rules. Like poles repel. Like means the same poles. Unlike poles means opposite poles attract. We can magnetize an iron or steel by rubbing it by a permanent magnet. This is a permanent magnet, but this the result here, or this magnet, is not permanent. It will lose the magnetism after some time. It will not last for a long time like the permanent. So let's answer this question. Copy, then label the poles of the iron when it has been magnetized, like this one. So when we start rubbing on this point, we started rubbing and we end rubbing at that point. So when we start at that point rubbing with north, so it will be north also. So this is N, north, and this is S, south. Please be careful about the summary, it's also important. Our lesson is finished now, and this is your homework workbook, question 1 only, page 121 and 122. I hope you enjoyed the lesson as I enjoyed too, and so take care, have a nice day.